I would like to call our Summit Waller Community Association Zoom board meeting for Tuesday, September the 1st, 2020 in session. And before we begin, I would like to point out that if you are a person who has gone to our website and is now watching our Zoom meeting, I would like to point out that the Summit Waller Community Association is a civic league of Summit Waller residents and property owners who share common concerns for the quality of life in our neighborhood and our community. And we have been around since 1993. And all of our 9 members on our board are residents of the Summit Waller community and are volunteers. If you would like, or we would like you to go to another part of our website and fill out a supporting membership form to kind of help us out. You can go back and look at previous Zoom meetings, and soon we will have our board minutes from 2019 and 2020 will be on our website. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. Our first item is our Zoom meeting minutes from August the 4th. So I would like to have any discussion about the minutes. They've been around for a while. I would like to note that I helped John with the minutes, and I would recommend a do pass on the minutes. So I'm looking for a motion and a second.
I'll move to pass the meeting or the minutes as shown.
Need a second.
I'd be glad to second. I wasn't there. Is it, does that matter?
No, it doesn't, Jen. We've gone over enough times to where I think everything is in order.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes from August 4th Zoom meeting. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Treasurer's report. Before we get to the treasurer's report, I would like to point out that we have, let's see, Russell Reed cannot make the meeting tonight. He's been excused. And we also have Angela Angove. She alerted me that she would not be able to attend. She's excused. Lisa Aikita, our alternate. I talked with her. She is getting all things set up for school for her kids and will not be able to attend the meeting tonight. So she's excused. And with that, we'll go to the treasurer's report for August. And you have that was sent out today. And I have double checked all the figures and everything seems to jive. I would like to point out that the $600 donation to the Mid-County Community Center was cashed and is now on our treasurer's report for this month. We did have one membership dues of $15. And so our new total is $585 less than it was last month. And the total is $3,167.78. Anybody have any comments about that?
Yeah, I have a question in general. Is there a tracking means to know whether membership is declining, expanding, or holding its mean average?
That list is generated by Russell, and he sends that out occasionally to me. And right now, I don't think I have an answer for that. Russell may have an answer for that, but why don't you call me later on in the week, Don, and I can kind of tell you. We normally have about 200 people that we mail out our annual newsletter to. But right now, I can't tell you how many actual dues paying people we had in the year of 2020. So I'll have to get with Russell on that and get back to you.
Okay.
I'd be interested in knowing that info as well.
Okay, I'm kind of tentatively, I probably would think that because of the coronavirus outbreak, we've probably had a decline in membership dues. But usually our main spurt of memberships coming in is in May and June and part of July. And it looked like we had a pretty good response. So a decline we may not have had a decline. We may have had kind of a plateauing out. So again, I'll get with Russell and see if he can't work on that information for me.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the treasurer's report be accepted.
Second?
All right, it's been moved by Don and seconded by Bob to accept the treasurer's report for August. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstentions? Okay. It also looks like Dan Hare wasn't able to do a successful connection, so he may be listening in, I'm not sure, but he's not with us tonight as well. All right, current business. Item number 1, that's just the website for the Mid-County Community Plan revision updates. You can go to that anytime you want. It's just there pretty much, or it's going to be there pretty much month after month until that issue is resurrected by the Pierce County Council and we have more activity on that. In the meantime, it's been postponed, and at some future date, it'll be going before the Pierce County Council. All right, going down to number 2, the League of Women Voters Get Out the Vote campaign. I had an email from an Ann Williams with the League of Women Voters recruiting us to help sponsor the Get Out the Vote campaign. That also goes with number 3, the League of Women Voters Virtual Candidates Forum. As you recall, in July, we agreed to be a co-sponsor with about 10 other groups. That was held, the primary ones were held, those were virtual candidate forums in July. Those went off very well. And we had tentatively agreed to participate in the September-October general election candidates forums that they're now putting together. And we are asked to continue our co-sponsorship with the general election. We'll get to that in just a moment. I called Angela Angove and asked her if she would contact Ann Williams and maybe spearhead this campaign, get Summit Waller Community Association involved with that. Since we are a civic organization, one of our goals is to educate the citizens of the Summit Waller community on all kinds of things, civic, and certainly this falls into that category. Angela Angove did contact Ann Williams, and you got a flyer or an email from her this evening or this afternoon relaying that she's worked things out with Ann Williams. What it will entail is, and I'll read what let's see. Yeah, Angela said that it's a situation where our email list will be uploaded to the League of Women Voters, and that they will send out weekly messages that that our members will get. We'll also hopefully put that on our website and our Facebook page. So what she wants to know is the board willing to get involved with the Get Out the Vote campaign through the League of Women Voters? If we decide to do that, Angela Angove will spearhead that campaign. I guess the key question here is, do we feel comfortable in uploading our email list to the League of Women Voters? One member of our board has asked that his name or his email not be included when we upload, and that can be done, no problem.
Well, I would think that if we have the ability, and we should, to receive an email, their formatted item, and that we could send it out on their behalf, I think that would be better, because we don't have permission to share out people's emails to other organizations. That's not on our membership form. And so I think it might cause us problems if we were to do that.
All right.
I agree.
Me
Okay.
too.
All right. Well, it sounds like there's a consensus there that we're willing to get involved. However, we are not willing to upload our email list to the League of Women Voters. If they want to send a message to us, then we would be willing to send that out to our members. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, with that stipulation, are we comfortable with getting involved with this Get Out the Vote campaign? Okay, Bob says
want to-
thumbs up.
I just
So
wanted to
get-
add one thing about digital transmission of information. When you got a list of email addresses, that can fall under the Can Spam Act problems. So, Bob kind of touched on that same issue with, we don't have permission because they did not opt in for optional emails beyond just getting emails directly from us about SWCA activities. So even forwarding on an email probably would be frowned upon. I can see putting on a website and a Facebook page, but directly sending them information, regardless of the source that isn't directly only SWC activity, might be frowned upon.
I see, okay. Other thoughts about what Gabriel just said?
Well, we could add their notices to the website and, just send out our own notice on a weekly basis saying, we've updated, here's some content for you to look at. And probably when ballots drop in mailboxes, we could have something that's going out reminding people to watch the boxes and to get them back in.
Any other comments? So what I'm hearing from the group is that we're comfortable with the League of Women Voters sending the messages to Angela, and Angela can put them onto our website and our Facebook page, but we are not willing to provide the League of Women Voters with our email list, or we're not comfortable with sending out the messages to our members. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would be more comfortable sending out a message about the candidate forums when they happen.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a minute, but I wanted to deal with number
Okay.
2 first. Okay, I will talk with Angela tomorrow and tell her what our consensus is about that. And Any other comments? Okay, once again, we're okay with getting involved with the Get Out the Vote campaign. However, the messages are to be sent to Angela, and she will put them on our website
Sounds right.
and Facebook page. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to number 3. We will be getting a list of the candidates forum virtual meetings here real soon. I intend to get back to my contact person, Noelle, from the League of Women Voters, and tell her that we will go ahead and co-sponsor the candidates forum for the general election, and we can put that information on our website. I think last time I sent out a copy of that to everyone on our email list, and I did not get back any complaints about that, except for one person. Is that something I should do again, or should I limit it to just our website?
If you didn't get any complaints, then I don't think it would hurt.
I agree.
There is one thing I'd like to say about the email list. I had probably 15 people whose emails came back undeliverable. So I think people are changing their emails somewhat frequently, and of course they're not alerting the Summit Waller Community Association that they've changed their email list or email address, which would prompt someone like myself calling them and asking them to provide us with their new email address, which is labor intensive. I can do that over time, but I kind of told Russell that I would work with him on doing that. So we might try to update our email list here in the near future.
I think generally when somebody changes their email, it's because their email is just receiving so much junk and it's out of control that they figure it's easier to change it than to deal with it.
I think you're right. I think I get probably 40 or 50 spam messages every day.
Oof.
So I may be in the future considering changing our email address.
If you have a good spam filter, a lot of those just go straight to the spam file and you never see them. But
Yeah.
I don't know what programs are good, have good spam filters or not. Mine does. I just use Microsoft Office or Outlook or whatever it is. And
Yeah. I just go to my spam file and there's like 40 or 50 a day, and I just delete them all.
What kind of websites you been going to?
None of your business, Don.
Man, I get maybe one a week.
One a week. Well, like if you contribute something to a political candidate, all of a sudden you get 20 political candidates from that same party all over the United States asking you for money.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to go into your spam file, and then you have to unsubscribe to, and then plus you just get people who are phishing. All right, let's, do I hear any negatives about our League of Women Voters virtual candidates forum for September, October?
None here.
Okay, I'll contact my League of Women Voters contact tomorrow and tell her that we're a go to help co-sponsor their candidates forum for the general election. Okay, moving on down to Orange Gate Park updates. Total volunteer hours actually, instead of July, that should be August. 16 hours. And I've put down quick ways to get to the Orange Gate Park Master Plan and the Pipeline Trail websites. There's a couple ways you can do that. Don Massey provided a direct link to the trail design or the page with the link to the pipeline trail design. And I would urge all of you to go to the pipeline trail design, because the first phase of construction from Waller Road and 72nd will go all the way out to the east gate of Orange Gate. And there's a preliminary design where the parking lot and the trail parking lot is in a slightly different place than where I thought it would be, but after looking at it, as far as traffic off of 84th is concerned, it's probably a better place. And then the trail doesn't quite follow pipeline maintenance road through Orange Gate.
That room better be clean.
It deviates to the south, and the county, let's see here. Their explanation for that is, I can find it here. Leaving the right of way for the pipeline maintenance road allows the pipeline trail to find a more ADA friendly grade, offers the potential to create a better user experience, and potentially offers some solutions to conflicts with critical areas and the Tacoma Power Utilities Service Road. Again, I would like to emphasize the word preliminary, because these designs are definitely in the preliminary stage and open for input. I know that Don Massey has suggested to Brianne Blackburn that maybe the trail should deviate to the north of the pipeline road and follow the historic Birds Mill Road, old trail, wagon road trail that actually dissects Orange Gate Park west to east, east to west, which is actually to the north of the maintenance road, pipeline road. So, you know, they're still obviously willing for a lot of input, and actually Brianne Blackburn has suggested that she meet with me and anyone else from our board that would like to, she'd like to know where that Birds Mill wagon road is actually, or was actually in the park, and talk about the trail as it goes through Orange Gate Park. I would like to point out that Orange Gate Park is the only large parcel of property along Pipeline Trail that where actually a trail could deviate away from the pipeline road, making the biking experience more pleasurable and more scenic. And of course, there's other considerations too with bridging the East Fork of the Clear Creek, and also crossing over the high pressure pipeline and going underneath the power lines and all those easements that they have to take into consideration, and wetlands too, that they have to take into consideration. So again, I encourage all of you to go to Pierce County Parks main website. If you click on projects and plans, that will take you to the various projects and plans that they're working on. And off to the left, you can find the links to both our Orange Gate Park Master Plan and also the Pipeline Trail. And from there, obviously, you can see the preliminary design work that's been done on the Pipeline Trail. It's pretty interesting. Any other comments or discussion about Orange Gate?
Yeah, well, I was hoping that perhaps it would be, I would like to see a letter from the association just supporting the investigation of the rerouting to incorporate the Bird Mill Trail and actually going through the existing Orange Gate gates as a group to sponsor that suggestion.
That's a good idea, Don. I'm wondering whether that might be a bit premature. Possibly after we have a walkthrough with Breanne Blackburn, we might revisit that idea.
Well, if that walkthrough doesn't materialize until December or next spring, then it's a moot point.
I got the impression that she wanted to do that sooner rather than later.
I'd
That
be
would be-
interested in
that would be-
joining in.
What's that, Jen?
Oh, I'd be interested in doing that walkthrough too.
Okay. Bob, I know that you are interested in that as well. So I would have to try and come up with a time that's suitable for everyone.
I'm pretty much available all the time.
Okay. I know Jen, you're pretty busy.
Tuesdays and Fridays are my good days.
Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay. Keep that in mind.
I'm certainly interested in Don's proposal, his suggestion. It's something that we would need to take a look at, considering what are, ADA considerations, any other considerations, and possibly it could be something where there might be the primary paved trail through the easement area, and possibly looking at the old road as, say, like an improved foot trail, mountain bike type trail, as opposed to a paved trail, but still have it cleaned out, fleshed out, and some marker signs to denote what this place is, as a possible alternative if it's not workable for other reasons.
Yeah, if any of you have been in Orange Gate Park along the Pipeline Road, there's a sharp incline in the 4600 block of that trail or that maintenance road, and I think they're gonna need to work around that. I think that's one of the reasons why they deviated off to the south.
And one other thing, if somehow this historic road is incorporated into the project, I also happen to be actually I'm the chair for what that's worth. I run the meetings for the county Landmarks and Historic Preservation Commission, and every year we award grant money to various organizations to do historic preservation type things. It's a matching grant situation. And so if we were able to, from ourselves and some other group, come up with, say, half the money to do, say, signage along an alternate trail, or if it's actually chosen as the trail, we could do some signage, a historic plaque, something informing people using the trail, here's the history of it.
Okay.
I've got a question for Bob briefly, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
You inquired about website availability of information on the Bird Mill Trail. Was that correct recollection?
Yeah, I've found some information on that.
Okay. Did you go to the natchesetrail.org?
I've looked at theirs before too, yeah.
Yeah. So this that is the trail markings from that organization that shows the origination in Puyallup near the Pioneer Park, going out Pioneer, up Fruitland, across 84th through the hospital in Stellicum, and ending up at the Stellicum ferry dock.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anybody that's interested in that history, man, there's just pages and pages of descriptions and routes, and it went from Stellicum to Puyallup, and then it went north to, what was it, Bellingham?
Yeah, that's the old military road.
Yeah, yeah. So it's quite interesting historically.
Yeah, that was built in the 1850s, and of course, the Bird's Mill Road was historic road number 1. So, during the Indian uprisings of the 1850s, a lot of people scurried to Stillicum along that route.
Yep. So
And-
if you can, perhaps to whatever degree you can expedite something with the county to get that review going with Brianne, that would be great, and I'm all for it.
Okay, all right, we'll see what we can do. I will get back to those interested in a walkthrough with Brianne Blackburn. I'll get back with you. We may have to set a date where not all of you will be able to do that, but it's possible that I could take anybody who wasn't able to attend at a different date through there. Excuse me. Okay, any other discussions about anything related to Orange Gate Park Master Plan or Pipeline Trail?
Yeah, sorry, I do. Has this map, Larry, ever been put on our website?
Is that a map of Orange Gate Park trails? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it has not.
Well, what is the consensus of putting it on? Has she got any trademark on this, or is it public domain now?
Oh, I'm sure that's public domain. You can,
Well, where is it located online? Aside from you holding the map, I mean, where'd you get that map from?
It's on the net.
Okay,
It was-
I can link to
Larry-
that from the website.
Yeah,
about the park.
Larry can give you the details of its history, who created it, and where you go to find it.
Yeah, if it's online, I can link to it.
yeah, the history behind the maps are both the Summit Waller Community Association with a teacher out of the Evergreen Lutheran High School GPS the trails. I gave her a map of as many trails as I could remember. And then she GPSed the trails with the help of Jim Akers, who purchased a GPS unit for her, and we donated that GPS unit to her, she could keep it after she GPS the trails, so we had a trails map. And then the Pierce County Parks also, using that map that I had produced and that the teacher GPSed, using that map, they did their own GPS work to come up with that final copy that Don had. So we want to create a link in the Orange Gate portion of our website to map trails. Okay, all right. Okay, Gabe, do you have anything to add as far as number 5, Summit Water Communication Webmaster? stuff?
Not much to add right now. I do have the meeting minutes and such that I'm going to be uploading soon. Life has just changed a little bit here for me. And so I've been quite busy lately, all for the good, but still quite busy. And then, you know, both Angela and I have been keeping up with the Facebook page, and it's still, you know, we're almost, I think we just reached 1,200 members on the Facebook page. So that's quite a good community of people that we can have outreach to, just to get them information. And we do properly vet them to make sure that they are local, or at least local interest.
Yeah, I think membership should be pushed through the Facebook page, because that's where all the focus comes from.
Yeah, it's very convenient. Everybody's on Facebook. I agree with that for sure. And as far as the updates we're talking about by email for things, it might make sense after our meetings, maybe have, once the minutes come out, if we can get them sooner rather than later, or even the following month, have an email that goes out monthly to our SWCA email list that could then just say, here's what we've currently done. Check out our website, check out our Facebook, and reiterate that, and also memberships as a reminder to them, just to keep that in people's minds.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we email our minutes to our membership?
Or at least
Or
email the link to it saying we've had updates, check out our website and go to the minutes page once I have that developed.
Okay, all right. All right. In going through the minutes from 2019 and 2020, I made sure, spent a great deal of time making sure that they were all formatted the same way, and cleaned up a few things, misspellings and such, before I sent that in a zip file to Gabriel. And thank you, Gabriel, for doing the legwork to get those up on our website sometime here soon.
Absolutely.
All right, our number 6, our bylaws revision and our goals. I would like to point out that I have been very busy, and I have made changes that people have recommended, and I think you have the latest bylaws list, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that out again, because we need to, well, at the earliest, we can approve our new bylaws edition on October in our October meeting. I believe that October the 6th. So between now and October the 6th, I want you to carefully look over the bylaws, and if there are any suggestions for changes, get those back to me as soon as possible so that I can make the changes and then send out a final copy for approval before October the 6th. Anybody have any questions about our bylaws? Okay, our goals. You were asked last month by Angela to look over take a second look at our goals, which I did on number 14. I suggested a change there. It says gift $600 to the Mid-County Community Center, and it says May. And I just put, I suggested the change, because we're never doing it on the same month, apparently. I just put mid 2020 and then the word done because we did finish that. In number 16, I suggested that it says develop common repository for meeting minutes and treasurer's reports. And I just suggested that it have meeting minutes for now, not treasurer's reports. I think we discussed that last month. And number 17, revise and update bylaws. And after the annual meeting in parentheses, it says expected completion in September. And I added an adoption in October. That's our goal. So there are a few changes. I don't know how many others suggested changes, but Angela is going to come out with that revised list here within the next few days. Just to let you know. Any questions about our goals? All right, let's move on down to number 7, Canyon Rim Estates update. Bob?
Okay, just have to pull up an email on my phone here. And, oh no, I don't want to switch me up. So yesterday, there it is. I sent an email to Ty Booth at the county, who's the county person overseeing the project, asking for an update on what's happening, because at the meeting in August, before the hearing commissioner, they asked for a postponement. Cascade did. And at the time, and the next time there's a meeting, I will certainly bring this up. Ty Booth was less than honest, let's say, in saying that, well, there were some last minute objections, even though nearly a year prior to that at the advisory commission meeting, the advisory commission had voted against the project. And there were people, including myself, including Larry, who spoke against the project. So it wasn't a last minute thing. But nevertheless, they asked for postponement. What I was told from Ty Booth was that the old proposal's been withdrawn and canceled. What that means to me is that they will absolutely have to follow the current guidelines for construction projects within the rural separator. He says, however, a new and somewhat similar application was just submitted. It's now on my desk for a notice to be prepared, which will then be sent to abutting property owners and agencies. And I'll get that notice as well. So what that similar project is, I don't know. Possibly they removed one house from it, which would mean that it would fall under the maximum 15 homes within a clustered area. They might be trying to get away with making those lots even deeper without making them any wider across the front, which essentially does not change the nature of it, which would make it look like a typical urban development. And it's something where they would have to bring in so much fill to make it so it's not a really nasty slope. It's something I would certainly want the hearing examiner to go out and just take a look at the location. But that's where we are for now on Canyon Rim Estates.
All right, any discussion on what Bob just said? Okay, that kind of fills us in where we're at with Canyon Rim Estates. Thank you very much, Bob, for pursuing that issue. All right, moving on down to a nuisance property near 72nd Street East and Canyon Road East. Bob, you have?
Okay, that case is closed. So I received notice from the county, since I'm also on the mailing list for this particular property. And it says, this is from Yvonne Reed, who's the staff person responsible for it. She says she called Suzanne Omania with the PC right-of-way on August 24 and was told that the county just closed on the purchase of the property. The site is all cleaned up. It has been cleaned up for some time now. And that they're supposed to be putting concrete blocks at the entry to try to prevent people from illegally dumping. And so this case has been closed. So it's just a matter of whenever the county gets to work on creating their runoff water facility there for their widening of Canyon Road.
All right, that's good to know that that property is no longer, at least at this point, a nuisance property. It's still a vacant kind of a lot with trees on it. Hopefully with the placement of ecology blocks there, it will deter people from going in there and camping out or tossing garbage.
Although I do have the feeling that if it wasn't for the Canyon Road widening project, this might be still going on. Probably would still be going on.
I certainly agree with that. Any other comments, questions? Okay, number 10, Pioneer Way and 64th litter removal request. Dan Hare did call 311, which if you call that number, the people in Tacoma will take your complaint and hopefully deal with it. He did call about the litter on 64th Street East by Waller Road Elementary. You go to Swan Creek and that's where the city limits are. And from that point to Portland Avenue, or at least till from that point to the pipeline trail, people tend to dump garbage along there, and it's a never-ending task to keep it cleaned up. So we may be calling that number to complain about 64th Street somewhat frequently. Dan Hare, I spoke with him today, and he wanted me to add a request. He would like permission from the board to write a letter or a series of letters from the board to the city of Tacoma, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and the Puyallup Tribe of Indians in regards to the homeless camps that are on railroad right-of-way, Puyallup tribal property, and city of Tacoma property between the city limits of Tacoma on Pioneer Way and around where Pioneer Way meets River Road, that whole area. So that's what he's asking permission to do. So any discussion on that?
I'd support that.
Part of that property is county property, is that correct?
It would be county property east of the city limits there, basically where Swan Creek is to Waller Road in that area, but that hasn't been a problem area. It's west of Swan Creek to River Road. That's the problem area.
Would you think it would be inappropriate or appropriate, okay, to include Marty Campbell on that letter?
Well, since he represents unincorporated portions of Pierce County and also portions within the city of Tacoma, that might very well be appropriate. You can certainly add that to the list. Jen, do you have a question?
Yeah, is it our area of concern to be concerned about? I mean, we're naturally concerned about all areas, but does that fall in the east side area instead of ours? Do we have a legitimate,
Well, we have,
I mean, if
we
we're
have,
using our letterhead and our organization, is that okay with it?
yeah, it's perfectly okay. We've done that before.
Mhm.
We have Curtis Kingsolver, who used to be on our board. He lived at 80th and Waller Road at one time. He is now in management, in charge of such things in the city of Tacoma.
Mhm.
And so we wrote a letter to Curtis, or sent him an email, I should say, about that litter problem along Pioneer Way East, and he had it cleaned up. But of course, it's a reoccurring problem, and so
Right. I
it's
remember that. I
gonna
just want to
take-
make sure we weren't crossing any boundaries with another neighborhood or,
No, I don't think so. It's a problem that probably other people besides the Summit Waller Community Association, probably other individuals as well, are complaining about.
okay. I'm in favor of it.
Any objections to that? Okay, do I hear a motion to permit Dan to write these letters?
I move.
I
Second.
second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Moved by Jen, seconded by Bob, I guess, to allow Dan Hare to produce letters, create letters from our community association to the city of Tacoma, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, and also Marty Campbell's office
Mhm.
in regards to the homeless encampments and litter in the area that was described. Pioneer Way East. Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 11, letter to Tacoma Power regarding current and past issues. I did not get to that. I'm still pondering on how to go about that. I'm inclined right at the moment to contact my contact person at Tacoma Power to talk with him about some of these issues. And if that doesn't go real well, then we can write a letter. I can construct a letter to the Tacoma Public Utilities. Actually, not to them, to the head of Tacoma Power, which we've done in the past. And if that doesn't work, the next step would be to go to a Tacoma Public Utilities meeting. And I must tell you that they do not really particularly like people coming into the Tacoma Public Utilities meeting with complaints. They like to try and head those all off. So that would be a step we may consider to do in the future. What are the issues? Excuse me. The issues, again, are expanding the ecology blocks and wire north of the substation powerhouse or command post house to 80th, and then west on 80th to kind of keep people from driving up or at different times of the year onto their property. And at some times there's been really close calls of vehicles speeding down 84th or excuse me 80th Street and going up onto the incline there and virtually almost losing control and ending up going through their big fence that they have there. And of course, during the wintertime, people get out there and do donuts, and they could lose control and end up in the fences too. I know they're concerned about security, and that might help with that. Also, we're thinking about ecology blocks again on from 46th Avenue East along 84th Street, going west from 46th Avenue. Maybe doing a little more landscaping. And of course, right now, they still need to take off some graffiti on ecology blocks and a few utility poles around the area. So I'll try and work that problem in a certain process this month if I get the time.
To bring up another point with Tacoma Power, and I would be a little bit more sympathetic of some of the people that, what this goes back to is about 3 weeks ago, there was several comments on Facebook regarding vandalism, street lighting, accidents. And if I recall correctly, one was in Vickery Road area. And the other was, I believe, on, what is it, 46th, that's on Lidford Road, Playground Road. And Gabe, you probably remember, if you follow Monitor carryings on from Facebook, but yeah, they get real riled up. And, you know, if they were dues paying members, I'd be a little bit more sympathetic to them. But yeah, there's been quite a bit of rumbling on outlying areas and lighting, just as a matter of information.
Well, as you may or may not know, Tacoma Power tends to, how shall I put it, favor those people who live within the city limits of Tacoma, and not favor so much those Tacoma Power customers that live outside the city limits of Tacoma.
Is that a rate issue?
No, I think it's a dealing with concerns issue.
Okay.
We've written letters. We can go back to about 2006 or 8 when we first broached the idea of more ecology blocks and more landscaping. And we met with their main, I guess, maintenance person. Right now, I don't remember his name. He's probably retired by now. And of course, they said, well, we won't be able to do that in the next 2 or 3 years because it's not in our 2-year cycle budget. I said, well, you need to put it in your next 2-year cycle budget. Well, that never happened. And so I think it's just continued not to happen. Now, I do realize that Tacoma Power, like the rest of us, has been affected by this COVID-19 virus thing. So I know that probably the Tacoma Public Utilities Board probably meets like we're doing virtually. So I think this is going to be a slower process. I don't think, I think this is going to take several months in order to play itself to some sort of a conclusion. Also, they tend to respond fairly quickly to our request that they keep the lights on 46 from burning out and not replacing them, the light bulbs, that is. And at one point, they told me that those were owned by the county. And I said, oh, no, they are Tacoma Power lights that light up the east side of your facility. And they are maintained by Tacoma Power. And it took a little while, but they eventually agreed that that's the case. They're the same kind of lights that are inside the facility. So, I mean, it wasn't too hard to tell. Also, I wish they'd do a better job of communicating with outside groups like the Summit Waller Community Association about, you know, sometimes they do big projects in there. What's going on, you know? Sometimes they could be able to tell us what that might be. Like when they upgraded their camera systems on top of that tower. We weren't notified about that. Would have been nice. I mean, what have we been doing for Tacoma Power over the years? Well, for 40 years, I've been picking up garbage around the streets around there. For one. So maybe it's time for them to do some things for us. Oh, we found out who was defacing their ecology blocks, utility poles in their blockhouse. We found out who that was for them. So, yeah, we've done some nice things for Tacoma Power. All right, any other questions about that issue? I'll periodically keep you updated on that. Moving down to new business, obviously the neighborhood watch meeting the first Friday of every month has been canceled again until there's a safe time to meet. That was supposed to be on Friday, September the 4th. Adopt a Road on Saturday, October the 3rd. Correct me if I'm wrong, John, but that's been canceled, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, I guess we'll resume in 2021, hopefully. In talking with Dan here today, he informed me that he had been reappointed to the Mid-County Advisory Commission, or excuse me, yeah, the Mid-County Advisory Commission. He's a little concerned that he's the only one from the Summit Waller area that isn't like a developer or such. So he's feeling a little outnumbered. Bob, can you share anything on that? I'm just trying, the chairman, his name is all of a sudden eluding me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's Giovanni. Yeah, I had to unmute myself. My wife is also on that particular commission, so that there are two of us from this area.
Okay.
What's missing is a representative from the North Clover Creek Collins Association, and that what's kind of traditionally been a seat has not been filled for some time.
I see. Now, the chairman of the Mid-County Advisory Commission, do you remember what his name is?
Giovanni Vendetti, and he's one of those who's in the hip pocket of the real estate folks.
Okay, who was it before him?
That's Eric Curdy. Eric had to resign
Oh.
because he got married and he now lives in the city of Tacoma.
Okay, yeah, it was Eric Hurd that I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dan-
so we need to find somebody to, actually, if we could recruit two good people who'd be interested in preserving the rural separator.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Because I think we're drawing ourselves to a close here. All right, just a reminder, our next Zoom board meeting, it'll probably be a Zoom board meeting, will be on Tuesday, October the 6th. With that, I want to thank everybody for attending our meeting tonight. These Zoom meetings are very interesting, how they work. And I would like to thank Gabriel for being the host of our meetings.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. If there's nothing else, again, thanks for attending. And I guess we got to work out. Hey, Mark, how you doing down there?
Good, I'm here.
I didn't. I wanted to make sure. I should find something for you to do.
I know. I'm sorry. We had a rough night at work. I'm a little sleepy, but we made it through it.
Okay. Hey, why don't you help me out on 84th sometime with picking up some garbage?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to get out there.
Okay. All right. I'd appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, Bob, before
Yeah.
we adjourn, I want to know how that glass of red wine was, Bob.
It's very good. I've been just terribly missing Italy and
Gee.
the food in particular. And so my wife said, well, we need to start eating that. And so I kind of took a little bit farther and I ordered about 10 different wines from this, from the Salento area, which is the heel of the boot. And I've been searching for recipes. And so once a week, we're going to have one of those bottles of wine and a Salentino recipe and pretend that we're there. But it's very good.
That's awesome.
All right. Great. Don Massey, you hurt your shoulder. How's that healing up?
Doing fine, getting better every day.
Oh, great. Great. John, how are you doing?
Oh, doing okay. Doing okay. Better and better.
That's good. That's good to hear. Well, I hope all of you stay in good health this month. And gee, it's September already. Labor Day is right around the corner, and school is starting. I know Jen is frantically trying to get ready for school. I know that Lisa Aikita is frantically trying to get everything set up at her house for school to start. I know my grandchildren in Florida are now in school online, virtually. As you know, Florida is kind of a hot spot for this virus. So I guess the one thing that people are afraid of, they don't want to get this virus. It's just, yep, you just don't want to get it. They're still trying to figure out what the long-term effects are, and nobody wants to be a long hauler with this virus. And they're now starting to figure out that maybe there's all kinds of complications, that some of them can be permanent. They'll stick around with this. So I wish everybody good health, and keep wearing the masks out in public, and wash your hands and social distance. Okay, anybody have any comments before we close?
If you need more masks, Don's wife makes them.
That's right, $5 a piece.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're breathable, very comfortable.
Yep.
Why move we adjourn?
All right.
He wants to get back to his wine.
Second
Okay.
that.
Oh, I probably got to finish up dinner. My wife's picking up her daughter from the airport. She just flew in from New York. Flew home from New York.
See, I'll chat all night because I'm adult deprived.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen, you took that trip to drop off your daughter at the University of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well, I call this meeting adjourned. Thank
Okay.
you all.
Good night.
Thanks,
Good
Larry.
night,
Thanks,
all.
Steve.
Good night.